Welcome to You Are Cooks Live from Pedrati's Ranch. And now, please welcome your host for You Are Cooks Live, Philip Chancellor. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first episode of You Are Cooks Live right here at the Pedrati's Ranch. We are so excited to have each and every one of you in the viewing audience. And let me tell you, after today and the setup and getting things together with our amazing chef, the first thing that comes to mind is streaming is a magical thing. Very exciting. So we're excited to find out what happens on this episode. Before we begin, we want to thank a few people. Digital Music Productions, Wes Denton. He is responsible for making sure this amazing program gets out to each and every one of you. There will be a replay of this broadcast almost immediately after this one, so be excited about that if you miss any part. And of course, you should be able to rewind anything that you missed, but you don't want to miss a second of this live. Now, this moment right here, I need to tell you, this is better viewed on a larger device, a laptop. I'm sure you don't have a desktop right there in your kitchen, but if you have a larger screen, you're really going to want to see some of the fine nuances and things that our amazing chef are going to bring to you. So if you're watching this on a cell phone or your Apple Watch, that's not going to fly. All right, so larger screen, the better, and you'll have a few moments to get that done because we're going to do a whole opening here. Also, this is also the time where you're going to want to get those ingredients laid out there in front of you. Be able to make sure that if Caesar asks you to grab that asparagus, that it's not there in the refrigerator. Now, Caesar's a trained professional. He has been on the Food Network. He knows exactly what to do. We are going to give you time, but we don't have all the time in the world, so make sure everything's kind of in a place where you can get to it. All right, with that being said, you may want to get your pans out, get ready, kind of keep an eye on your stuff, grab some oil. We need to thank a couple of other folks. First off, in those packages, you got an couple of amazing things actually. An amazing gift package from our good friends at Twang. Twang did an amazing job giving us some absolutely stunning michelada mix, which Caesar is going to walk you through how to make that perfect, and even another surprise bonus drink using the same ingredients there. Also, Heart Brand beef. The beef that you received in those boxes, I really doubt you're going to beat anytime soon. I'm going to show you a brief commercial on them here in a few moments. But like I said, we don't have all the time in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very, very excited to have our first master chef. He is the owner of Sangria on the Berg. He is the owner of Alamo Biscuit Company. He is now one of my best friends. Ladies and gentlemen, Chef Caesar Zapata. Caesar, get in here. All right, there you go, yeah. Like it. Love it. Caesar, all right. I know, again, I've said it twice. Here's the third time. We don't have all the time in the world, but 30 seconds or so, tell us about you, how you got to this point.
I mean, food has been my life, my whole life. It's funny coming to a ranch because I was raised on a ranch, and cooking on cast iron just takes me back home. So teaching people the little things that I've learned throughout the 24 years I've been doing this is just a treat to me, really.
That's fantastic. And we were so excited to get someone like Caesar who has a stake in our local restaurant community. And it's one of the biggest reasons You Are Cooks was created. During this craziness with COVID, we have seen our friends in the hospitality industry affected very, very bad. This also includes, obviously, our restaurants and more specifically right now, our bars. We got together with Pedrati's Ranch and thought, how can we start showcasing some of these amazing people that may be struggling a bit with all of this, and You Are Cooks was born. All right, I told you we were going to talk a little bit more about the amazing beef at Heart Brand, so here is a bit of a commercial on the beef that you'll be cooking with, if you got the box, from Heart Brand beef. Let's go.
One of the great things about Heart Brand for me is having the opportunity to really change a business. One of my main focuses all the time is making sure that we're producing the best beef eating experience that we can do. And that starts with the way we raise our cattle. Our beef is all natural. At Heart Brand, it's a great family business. I have the pleasure of working with my dad. My mom's very active in the business. My wife, the two kids love our golf cart rides in the evening. I take pride in being part of that long-term family heritage. and my wife live on the ranch. We live right where the cattle live, just right on the other side of the fence is all the Akaushi cattle. We get to watch them every evening. We have a relationship from the animal all the way back to the ranch. When you deal with Heart Brand, you're buying meat from Heart Brand, you're dealing with the ranch. You know, one of the things that's very important to us is the humane handling of animals. My family's told me, who's ranched these same lands since the 50s, is if we're good stewards to our land, that it always pays us back time and time again, because our land is all we have. We have our land and our cattle. And those are two things that we've got to take care of every single day. So what I always like to tell somebody is the Akaushi experience will change your life. Once you get used to eating Akaushi, you'll wonder how you've ate beef before. Best characteristic of Heart Brand beef is the eating satisfaction. I do it day in and day out when I go call on a new customer. I tell them, try my beef. If it's not better than the beef you currently have, I'll leave. And I haven't had to leave yet. We sell the beef, not the sizzle. So whenever you try our beef, you realize just from the first bite, that Akaushi experience, that great, wonderful, truly tender, great flavor of beef frankly, how beef's supposed to taste.
3, 2, go. All right. It almost feels like
It does.
it almost feels like the real deal. Of course, you know, since he's been on the Food Network, this is small potatoes to him. All right, so this is the points. Now, Caesar has got here a cast iron pan, and he said it a moment ago. This is his weapon of choice for what we're going to do.
Yeah.
If you don't have one available at home, don't sweat this. It's not a problem. You know, you use, I know Caesar, a stainless is okay, right?
We use anything.
Anything, all right? It's just, again, when it comes to a pro, it's someone, you know, you paint with your own canvas, so Caesar's going to use this here. If you have one, it's probably time to start preheating, but I'm not going to steal any thunder from this man. I'm going to let you start doing your thing.
Hello. Thanks for being here with us today. He talked about the cast iron a little bit and why I use it. It heats up really well and it stays hot for a long time. And you won't have hot spots because that fire doesn't just hit that center. It hits the center and then it makes the entire thing hot. So if you're asking why cast iron, get one of these. It's a really good thing to have at home. That's why I'm using that. I'm introduced to Marisa. She's my executive chef at Sangria on the Berg. And friend in here to help me get through this as best as possible. So, I mean, we have a lot going on. What I really want everybody to know is that there's no mistakes here. You know, if you miss a step or anything like that, that's fine. A lot of things are created through the mistakes that we can make. So we're going on there, and we're gonna. If you miss something or anything, don't worry about that. Just keep moving on, and it's real easy to catch up.
Chef was real instrumental in the development of the concept of this show, and something he brought to the table in our first meeting is he wanted to take something that would normally be intimidating to somebody if you went to the bigger steakhouses or you went to the finer restaurants. So he is literally going to take this dish and show you how to do it in moments. So where do we start?
Okay, we're going to start with this asparagus. We do have 2 burners here, so at your house you might have more, but we have 2. So the asparagus you received, I do always cut the ends off. They're a little harder, a little fibrous. Water. You have some boiling water here. Did we give salt? Salt. You want your water salty, you know, so plenty of salt in there, you know, almost like this, like you would do pasta. So you're gonna get that in there. I like going up real high. You need about a minute on this. This isn't gonna take too long.
Now on this one, have you already cut those ends?
We've already cut these ends. You just want, they're a little harder on the ends. So you want to get those off. You don't need a lot of these. The water's already going. So when you drop these in here, remember we're gonna cook them again on the cast iron afterwards. So give it about 2 minutes and we're gonna pull those off. Mari has a little ice bath here. After you cook them, you wanna put them in that ice bath to shock them, stop the cooking process because we're gonna sear them on the flat top. So that's going right now. Next thing you have a cast iron here, put it on real low. Put it on real low, like turn on your burner at your house and turn it on real low so that it's warm. You don't wanna start with a cold pan. These burners are a little bit different, so we have to get it as low as possible. So at your house, get it going, not crazy hot, but you do want it on low. Okay, so asparagus is going. Okay, so you have your steaks. Go ahead and take your steaks out, put them on a plate, and let them rest. If you look at these steaks, it has great marbling. They're very soft. And if you're picking a steak, you want to pick some. This is a tenderloin. I picked this because this is my wife's favorite cut, right? Women love it. It's not that fatty. It does need some fats. That's why we're going to use the butter. But this is a great choice. Beautiful marbling in there. Obviously, it's Heart Brand, and after you have this, you're not going to want any other steak, I promise you. But this is a really good cut, very versatile, and it cooks evenly, cooks fast, but get it out to come to temperature. So I have 3 of them here because we're going to do a little special presentation for you. Take that out. Also, we have butter. On this, if you're watching your asparagus, as soon as it starts changing color, get it out. Shock it in your ice water.
It should be noted, Caesar, it's pretty impressive. You kept that pretty much right at 2 minutes.
So about 2 minutes. I always, honestly, now I look at it, and okay, when it starts changing color, you'll see it changing color. That's when you want to pull it out. Again, if it's 1 minute, you like crispier vegetables, that's fine. We're double downing on these pots here that we have, so we're going to use this same pot to make a risotto, which is next.
Now, it's only because I know exactly what Chef Caesar is going to do with that asparagus. If you are one of those that likes it just crazy soft, it's really not going to help you, because what you see here in a moment that he does with it, mind-blowing.
There we go. So your steaks are getting up to temperature, and now your butter. Marty's going to get your the butter, and we're just going to cube it up. What it's going to do is help it get soft faster. Also, what you can do is take it out of the refrigerator early in the day. It's going to soften up for you. But what she's going to do is get that process going a little quicker. So cube it up, because we're going to use a lot of butter, guys. You're going to find out a couple things about me. I love onions, I love garlic, and I really love butter. It's a great way to add flavor. With this, what she's doing right here, we're going to make a compound butter, which honestly, I told the guys that this is kind of the star as a compound butter. I told them a little story about going to Au Cheval in Chicago and having the best burger ever. The reason that burger was so great, it had an awesome compound butter. So this one's pretty simple. Marty's going to cube that up for me. It's going to come over here in a second. So compound butter, what is it?
I was just going to ask, if you want to know what a compound butter is, I no clue.
Exactly. Well, it's just a butter with flavor. A lot of people put garlic, but you can do anything you want.
Okay.
At Cheval, they do brisket jus. They do a reduction. They do bone marrow. I've seen some really cool things. You can do a stock from shrimp and lemon juice if you're going to go the shrimp route. You can use beef flavoring if you're going to go the beef route. So it's a great way to put that big flavor into your meal during the cooking process, and then at the end you put a little bit more.
So it goes into the butter before we use the butter for anything?
Yep.
Okay, all right.
And then the great thing also, what I like to do is when you go to H-E-B and you buy those little packets of herbs and you have some left over, what do you do with that? You usually waste it. Well, don't waste it anymore. Cut it up, put it in some butter, put that butter in the freezer, and now you have awesome butter whenever you need it.
So you can marinate butter.
You can marinate
I like
butter.
it.
So we're going with that. So what herbs that we're working with, you'll see in your package, rosemary, awesome, really good. A little does go a long way, so be careful with that. Will you get the thyme for me? Thyme, pretty simple. It's a beautiful, you can do it dry. I like when I'm doing thyme, if you're gonna cook for a long time, put it dry. If you're gonna put it at the end and season, you do fresh. So if you stay with that rule, you're gonna be good. All you do is grab the like that, and rake down. All your little thyme leaves come off.
Now, it should be noted, Caesar has got his wonderful executive chef here acting as an assistant, but this was called the Date Night Surf and Turf Box, which means that you should have an assistant there working with you. And here in a few moments, you're really going to understand why you really need that second person. So let me apologize right away to my friend Danny, who's at home with knee surgery, who's making Sylvia do all the work.
Poor thing. So again, let's say you don't like thyme. That's no problem. You don't like rosemary. It's no problem. What do you like? You like cilantro? Perfect. You like parsley? Perfect. If you just like salt and pepper and lemon, zest some lemon, get lemon zest in there, salt and pepper. I love garlic, huge fan of garlic, so we're going with a thyme, rosemary, salt, pepper, garlic, and a little pepper flake in this compound butter. But again, guys, there's no rules here. You can do whatever you like. You can go through and make whatever kind of compound butter you want.
Now, you were clear about keeping this on low, and I got to tell you, standing here, I know we're rocking and rolling. Yep. So it's feeling, we're getting there.
You're also working, your burners at home will turn down a little more. These actually turn off. So that's kind of what we're working with, but it's fine. rock it out. I like to keep it warm. I turn it off right now and I'll
Sure.
turn it back on as long as it's warm to work with. So all your, we have some parsley here too, which is great. If you have that in your box, guys, again, there's no rules here. You make up your own, and every time you make it, it could be a little bit different. It's pretty much how I do all my recipes, right?
So,
I really
Caesar,
don't
if
write
we
down
wanted
much.
to take these herbs and then
Sure.
like add bacon, that's okay as well?
Dude,
Okay.
that's perfect. Again,
So what is it
anything
better
goes
with
in there, bacon, compound butter, whatever you want to do. Again, this is a great way to preserve those things. You're going to put it in the freezer. You're going to have bacon, compound butter. You have French bread. Put it on there, toast it in the oven, and now you have awesome French bread. You know what I
I
mean?
like that. My wife's in the audience. I hope she's writing this down. So that's good.
So Marty's getting some herbs going over there. I'm going over here. Will you do some garlic after that? Okay, so that's gonna go in your bowl. So we take a little bit of that butter, herbs, go, you can put the herbs.
And again, hopefully you've got that date or friend or significant other working with you, so it goes back and forth, makes it easy. How much are we going to put in there, Caesar, for
We're
this?
gonna put about a third of the butter that you received. So you received a pound of butter. You're gonna put about a third of it. And again, the idea is to have extra.
Sure.
Because you're gonna wanna use this in other things. So the softer the butter is, the more success you're gonna have with this. So that's why we cubed it up to help that softening process.
And it
a
looks
little
like
bit.
those cubes, maybe like about the size of like a cheese cube.
Yep.
All right, yeah, so okay,
They're
not
just gonna
hard.
help. See, it's a little soft. So a little work's gonna go into it, but we're fine.
Okay.
So herbs go in. I have pepper flake. If you don't want it hot, don't put pepper flake. Pretty simple. I like it hot. Little pepper flake. Marty has some garlic going over there. Again, on this, you can have chopped the garlic before. All this stuff could be done early, and then boom, boom, boom. That's what we. But I wanted to go through the process with you and go through the process of making this compound butter. So if you look at it, herbs, pepper flake. We're going to use some of the salt and pepper that you received. This salt and pepper has fresh cracked black pepper, kosher salt, and a little bit of cayenne. So a little bit more heat. And I put about a teaspoon in there. It's not going to be too much. We have unsalted butter. So if you have salted butter, take that into account. So
Okay.
garlic comes here. You're gonna mince that up. So garlic's going in here. So we're gonna start. That's still coming. This is gonna take a little process. If your butter is not soft enough, that's fine. Let it sit for a minute, and we'll go on to the next thing.
Okay.
So I'll put this garlic in here real quick. So another thing about this, you're cooking fish or shrimp, lemon. Lemon zest is
Lemon.
great in this. Juice of lemon, a little bit of oil, even a little bit of cream in there if you want to cook with that. Again, not a lot of rules in here. So that goes in like this. Trash can. So you're gonna smash it down. You can tell like this one, it's not up to temperature yet. So we're gonna put that aside and we'll come back to it as it softens. Risotto. Reason I want to do surf and turf is because this is kind of a thing that I always put on Valentine's Day menu. We always put on any of our special menus because it's fun. You have, usually beef, usually seafood, but risotto is one of those things that I think sounds scary, but it's not. It's very simple. So we're going to go through the process of risotto. So Marty's going to do some garlic. So one part to do some garlic. Onion. I know it's scary, and there's always a bunch of tips on cutting onion. So you take your onion out. Always cut one end of it. Leave this little area right here. You want that. It's going to help you hold it together. Okay? Is y'all's butter soft? Okay.
Awesome.
Mine's getting there. So leave that. You want that. But put your knife right in the middle. Super sharp knife is going to be your friend as well. This one's crazy sharp, so I'm trying not to cut myself.
You cut yourself worse with a dull knife than you can
Exactly.
a sharp one. That's exactly right. I like that move that you did where you did leave the top on, because
Yep.
when I'm doing it, you're right. I'm notorious for that. I'll cut that end, the other end, and then let it roll around and be obnoxious. So
you
yeah.
want that? No, you have a flat surface to work with. So we are going to do a small dice on this. So God kind of cut it for us like that already. So leave that on the bottom, and then we're going to slice down, but not all the way through. So you kind of make like a blooming onion.
Look at that. And it's
So,
held together because
it's
you
held
left
together
the
'cause
end
you left
on.
the
I
end.
love that.
We can slice down like this. Be careful. Slice down. You're going to help this cut up a little bit. And then, guys, I like a lot of onion. Some people don't. But in the risotto, I would say use at least half an onion. Now, in your package, we're going to use about half of the pack. So I measured it out so you can use the other pack whenever you want to make risotto again. Because after you make this, you're going to want to make it again. I taught Philip the other day. He's made it like 3 times.
3 times.
Stole my recipe.
I did, yes, and I claimed it for my own. It's on YouTube/forward Philip Recipes.
So we're gonna go down. This is a very simple slice. Just slice straight down. Move your hand back. Again, I'm doing it real, guys. This isn't a race, by the way. You know, don't think you have to be on Top Chef and go cut yourself, because that's the idea here is to get out of this with all your fingers. So Madi's gonna turn on this burner. We're gonna put a little bit of oil. I always start with our onion, and then when I put my rice in is when I actually put the garlic. We slice the garlic instead of minced it for a reason. If you mince your garlic, it's gonna burn real fast, more opportunity for it to burn. If you're gonna slice it, it's better for longer cooking things. If you're gonna cook really fast, mince it, slower, slice it. If you're gonna make like beans or something like that, you want it whole, just smash it real quick and leave it whole. So it's kind of a different reason to use garlic in different, speeds of cooking. So, okay, a little bit of oil in there. Is it on? Yeah. Cool. On. So your oil goes in about, what'd you put about 2 teaspoons. That's going in, and we can go in and put our onion in there. Again, we're sweating it. See, it got hot pretty fast. We're sweating it. We're not going to totally, I don't want it to change color. The beauty of this dish and why you're doing it is you want the risotto to remain white. If you burn your onion or your garlic, it's not going to be white anymore. So when you're thinking about plating this dish, the risotto on the bottom is nice and white and creamy, and then your color is your steak and your shrimp and everything else. So again, we're getting this onion just translucent. So take a little while. Okay, so we're doing there. Go back to, I know some people have got their compound butter a little soft. I'm gonna go and see people using their hands. You can do that as well. I'm a fan of gloves. We wear gloves normally at the restaurant, and it's just a great way to keep it. But as you see, as you incorporate everything into this butter, it becomes a lot of flavor throughout. Butter's great, and why do we use butter? Pretty good things about butter is that it browns nicely. The bad thing about butter is that it browns nicely. You can burn it real fast because it has a lot of cream. So, it's a great thing to use, but you want to use it when you're cooking fast, and you want to use it a lot at the end. You see a lot of French techniques where they add butter at the end. It's flavor. You're using all that flavor. So, we'll show you a little trick, and you don't have this at your house.
This trick is worth the whole price of admission right here. Absolutely love what you're about to see, because in a moment he's going to tell you what you can do with this later, and it absolutely works.
So everything's in there, right? I think using your hands are great. You can even put it in a mixer or something like that. Your compound butter goes down, and it's all mixed in. We put our salt, we put our red pepper flake, we put our garlic, and all of our herbs. Parchment paper, you can even use just plastic wrap. So a couple ways to do it. All roads lead to Rome, but I come up here and pinch it like this, and then you're gonna make a little log. And these are in the restaurant industry, if you're doing steaks or something like that, you're basically making a little log so you can get a coin. So whenever you have that leftover herbs or garlic or something that you don't think you're gonna use, grab a couple sticks of butter, make a compound butter, and then put this in your freezer. And anytime you're doing anything, if you're cooking shrimp, boom. If you're cooking fish, boom. Steaks, whatever, now you have this forever. And it lasts for a
That was
long
the
time.
secret, and it works.
It does.
It works. I had some the other day for something completely different that I tried. It was a mashed potatoes, and I wanted this.
Perfect.
It was insane, incredible.
So we would put this in your freezer. So put this in your freezer at home. You're going to use it as we go. We're going to put it off to the side, and then we're going to back to the risotto. You see this? You're getting a little translucent here. Like I said, this is 8 ounces. So you need about a cup of the risotto. We'll put that one in. Then we'll go ahead and put our sliced garlic in. Doing a little bit more oil. Now you're gonna toast it. You're not gonna toast it forever, probably about 2 minutes. You'll see them kind of change color a little bit. One thing that I need our stock.
Stock?
Yeah. Okay. You have some stock in your bags. You're gonna get that stock warm. So if you have, at your house, you're gonna have another burner over here. So y'all have a cup of stock on yours, and it'll burn over here. So we, so that hot stock, put it on real low on the back. You know, at your house, you're gonna have the other burner. Stop.
More?
Well, I can use this. I thought we were gonna have one.
We'll get you
I'll use
more.
this.
We want you to have what you need.
Oh,
We need you happy.
no, I'll work with that. I'll work with this. Yeah. Okay, so your stock pot. It's great to use. We have these little delis, which is great as well. So this risotto is going to take about 20, 30 minutes. So just know that. This is one thing that you're going to have to nurse. Not a big deal, but it's one of those things that you can walk away. What I like to do, you kind of want to agitate it. Why are we using this kind of rice? It's a arborio rice. It has a nice, it makes its own kind of creaminess. Like you've seen risotto, I do add cheese and all that, but it makes its own kind of creaminess through the agitation of the starch. So it has a lot of starch in it.
In our intro video, you can see Chef Caesar and Anthony Pedrati. You can see Anthony mixing something. Chef, you had Anthony mixing for quite a while, so you really don't stop.
It's about 20 minutes.
It's about 20 minutes.
The trick to this is you put enough liquid to kind of let it roll, so that kind of stirs it for you. Or if you don't put enough, you're going to be stirring nonstop.
And the whole way through, you're considering this toasting it.
Yep. No,
The
we're
whole way
toasting it
through.
a little bit.
Oh,
and
toast a
then-
little, and now I got
Yep.
you. Okay.
Again, we don't want to brown it. This needs to be a white, creamy. This is like, you know, if you're talking about a painting, which is this, which you're looking at this plate. It's like a
More
painting.
stock. There you go. Told you we can do that for you.
That's going to be the bottom of your plate. That's going to basically your plate to rest your steak and shrimp on top of. Okay, that's going to take a while. Okay, so right now there's a couple things. We're going to start our mushrooms. Now, a lot of people don't like mushrooms. It's fine. Risotto is a great thing. It's very versatile. You can do a ton of things. On this, these are cremini mushrooms. Like them because they're better flavor than white button mushrooms. They're baby portobello mushrooms. So just quarter them. If you want, you can quarter them like that. You can cut them in half and then slice them. I happen to like the texture, so I want them kind of big. You can just slice them completely in little rounds. So there's really no rules there. Whatever you want to do there. I like them quarter, all different sizes. It's going to provide a little texture into your risotto. Risotto's going. It's going to come up to a little boil, so you want that to happen. Mari's taking the asparagus out of the water and then putting it on a side plate because we're going to come back to that later. So for your mushrooms, now I put them, okay, you can put them in now. What I like to do is put them in at the end after a saute so that they still have, if you put them in now and you stir them nonstop, they're gonna kind of fall apart. I want them to have some texture and be whole still. So that's why I do it on the side. Mari says I like to do things as complicated as possible. But there's a reason behind that.
You're exactly right, because the first time, Caesar, we talked about this, that I tried it. I left them in too long, not realizing, and it did. They fell apart. So good tip.
But honestly, mushrooms are great, and what you can do if you really like mushrooms, put some in now, or even like if you get some big portobello mushrooms, put the stems in now, and your stems are going to give a great mushroom flavor, and then you sell these for the end. So you can add a lot of flavor in that. If you're making your stock from scratch, putting some mushrooms in your stock is also a great option to have kind of a mushroom stock as well. Again, you can use water. If you do not want to make this, vegetarian, you can definitely use water. You can use a vegetable stock, which I would recommend. We are using chicken stock in this case.
It's good stuff. Lots of flavor in there.
Yep. You can see that this that it's coming up, it's stirring, and you're at home, you're gonna have better burners. You're gonna have a burner that gets pretty hot, so manage it. You do want this to take about 20, 30 minutes. It's not something that you want to cook too fast. Okay, I'm going back on my cast iron. Now here, we're using this cast iron in multiple ways, which is good. Mari's gonna chop up some herbs for me, a little bit of thyme and a little bit of rosemary.
We're getting to the best part. That Heart Brand beef, I know it.
That's resting right now. That's coming up to temperature. Do you have rosemary? Huh? Okay. So we're going to use thyme on this one and our mushrooms. So just to recap a little bit, you have your asparagus already blanched, you have your risotto going, it's cooking, and now we're gonna do like the mushroom part of the mushroom risotto. So this is going, I need a couple cubes of...
And again, if you've got the date night job for stirring the risotto, you're still stirring right now. I know you're not seeing that here, but I promise you, you're still stirring, keeping it off the bottom.
Yep.
Keep going and going and going.
If you've seen, we add enough stock, so as you're going, you just add more stock. You want to keep it to a stir, but not where it's burning, okay?
And
so
we're
just
not
keep
reducing.
it up. Nope, we're just keep going. Do you have a spat for this? So keep it going. There's one thing you kind of have to be by the risotto the whole time.
When we did this in the test kitchen at the very beginning, I'm telling you, I know I mentioned it twice, Anthony, like this, like this, like this the whole time. And
I don't think Anthony's ever stirred something that long in his life, I'll be honest with you. So like I said, you're gonna find out I love butter. Butter goes in, the herbs are coming, so we're gonna cook those mushrooms in some butter. And we're doing these, so we're gonna get this done now, kind of like the asparagus. We're doing all these things to come together at the end. This seems like a lot of mushrooms, but it cooks down pretty well. So mushrooms, butter. I season every layer. You know, every single layer is gonna have some seasoning.
And this seasoning that you just used is the one that was in the box. We're good.
That happens. That happens, guys.
That's our fog machine going nutty. It's just making the broadcast more interesting. Oh, it's the fireman doing that.
So mushrooms are going. You have the herbs coming for that soon. I'm gonna go ahead and chop up a little bit of garlic.
I'm coming after him in a minute. Yeah, that's happening.
I'm gonna need more garlic, yeah.
All right, so what we got here?
Okay,
We're in the
so
butter, we're
mushrooms are
bathing in
going.
there.
We're gonna put a little herbs in here as well. And guys, these really don't have to cook long at all. Now, I'm a garlic fan, so I would add some more garlic in that, but we know that we have garlic in every layer of this dish, which is not a bad thing.
All right, so you talked a moment ago about minced garlic versus sliced garlic versus whole. What kind, we'd want to put the minced in here,
I would
right?
put minced in there.
Because you said we could cook it quickly.
Cook it quickly, that's
All
what
right,
we're doing.
all right, so the
So-
minced garlic, right in there.
Right in there. Add some stock. You're gonna have to do this the whole time. Add a little. When it gets a little crazy and you get frantic, all you have to do is add stock to chill it out.
There we go, and I'll come over
You're-
here and take over the
You're
stirring
buying time
responsibilities.
is what you're doing. So mushrooms are going in this cast iron. Again, the beauty of this cast iron is that it cooks everything very evenly.
Yes, very nice. It's already getting that nice brown color on there.
And you just want them soft because you gotta know you're putting them back in the risotto, which is gonna cook a little bit more in there.
I got to tell you, Caesar, Anthony's right. This job really sucks.
You're not as good as Anthony. He's
I'm not taking your spot over. I just wanted to do something exciting.
So Marty's getting some more garlic. We're gonna toast these off. I think it's time for, for a drink.
I think so.
You think
All
so?
right. You know what? We got to this drink portion. I'm going to tell you, we're going to do the most amazing michelada from our friends at Twang. Now, if you were lucky enough to get one of our boxes with that michelada pack in there, we're going to talk here in a moment. Now, let me grab this. Hold on. Now, before we're going to start this, what we're going to do is I'm going to turn this over to Wes. He is going to run a brief commercial from our friends at Twang. Let you get set up.
Gotcha.
Coming out. That was awesome. That's what we want. The second best part of the show is right here. Okay, the Heart Brand beef, okay, goes without saying, but who doesn't want to have their own cooking show where they can get wasted? Now, it's not it. This was one of the things that our friends at Twang allowed us to add into that box. Their michelada mix here, which is available at HEB, unbelievable. You say that, it's like, well, they're your sponsor, you got to say that. We tasted right away. So I'd unfortunately not had it. Now, I was very familiar with the Twang products, the salt, you know, the additives. This one I had not tried. Now, we did something a bit off the beating path. The michelada, absolutely wonderful, tasty, any beer. We had it with Dos Equis, we had it with Ultra, but we tried something different. I actually made, and Twain's gonna lose their mind when I say this, we made at home a wonderful Bloody Mary. We didn't have to add anything. It's in the vodka, done, and this stuff here, I can't have enough of it. I'm going to let you show us. I know we had the commercial here, but we need to see Chef Caesar get this done for us. Here's some wonderful Modelo's.
Micheladas are pretty easy. You can do, I mean, everybody likes them spicier. You want to make them spicy. I'll say this mix is great just like it is. You want to make it spicy, I'll see Tabasco, your favorite spice, but it has everything in it. So what we're going to do here is put a little bit of, I like little lime juice, so we're going to do that. Put a little lime juice in here.
Okay.
Put some of your michelada mix.
It's a pretty good amount. I like that.
Pretty
Plenty
good
of room
amount.
for the beer.
Well, you want to add beer as you go. So that's going to go in your
Aha!
We're going to rim this glass. I like to use a lime.
Okay.
Now, they also make this awesome rim salt for the michelada.
The rim salt
It's so
is
good. And that
worth
kinda
its
makes it.
weight in gold. It is so good.
So in your glass, save some of those limes. Guys, a lot of this is about the garnish, right? It has to be pretty. If you have a lime wheel, you're gonna get your Modelo Especial. And there you go. Add to it as you go, Michelada by Twang.
Thank you. I'm gonna put this off camera for you. I'll be right back.
Yeah, take care of that.
Oh yeah, I need you to do about 3 more of those.
Got you.
All right, let me get this over here. Now that I'm nice and zesty and
We're
I love
coming
it.
back. Risotto's
Wait till you try
going.
it at your tables. It is
Yeah,
insane.
Please try it,
Wonderful
guys. It's
good.
available at HEB. It's a great product. You don't even need anything with it. If you
Todd,
wanna do
come down here real
virgin with that,
quick.
can
I
do
know
that.
you want to shift over, but these are some of the ways it's available. You've got the individual packs here, so you can dump and run. These things are all wonderful flavors. Of course, the beer salts, which you can't go wrong with, all there from our friends at Twang. All right, where are we at here, Caesar?
Okay. Mushrooms are done.
Mushrooms are done.
They're soft, but they're not to the point where they're real soft. They still add a lot of texture, which you want to that risotto.
I know we're getting thin on time, but here in a moment, I want to march you over to our fireman. We have a fireman in the audience. I want you to see what he did with his.
I'll see what he did.
You'd think you wouldn't like burned being in the fire, burned, but they don't. I don't. We'll check him out here in a minute, but he disappeared. He's making the michelada. He's doing what we've asked. Well done. We'll come back to him in a minute. Where are we at, Caesar?
Mushrooms out. You're gonna put those to the side, just like you did the asparagus. Again, we're getting all towards plating. So the next thing, risotto's going. You're gonna have about 15 minutes still on that. So let's talk shrimp.
Shrimp.
Shrimp to receive. If you didn't receive it, so what I like to do is kind of a dual purpose cutting board. So if you put a little parchment paper down, and then you can work with your shrimp on the cutting board, okay? And you didn't dirty your whole cutting board and have to get a new one.
No cross-contamination,
Yep,
sure.
they're awesome. So shrimp, if you get them where they have the shell on it, you just want to score down the middle. These are actually deveined, but just score down the middle, take the vein out. These are nice and clean, Gulf shrimp. What you want. We're gonna cook a few of them here. So we're putting those to the side. I was gonna go over the cleaning process, but these are nice.
Yeah,
and
I was
clean
going to
and ready
ask
for
you, I know that they were deveined for you just in the interest of time.
Sure.
But if we could just pretend for a moment we've got one there. Chef Caesar earlier had a really, really interesting conversation with Louis Pedrati, the owner of Pedrati's Ranch. And they talked about different ways of deveining, and he had mentioned a faucet, and you said not necessarily.
Well, it's nice to have that, but when you don't, honestly, just if we have a little water here.
Sure.
Now, there's a ton of ways. You don't want to cut yourself. That's the number one way.
You got a lot of close contact here with that blade. So.
Slide it down, and then you're just going to go down the middle, and then you'll see that vein kind of go off, slide it off, and then you're just going to shake it off in some water, and you'll see it's nice and clean and open for you. That's all.
Beautiful.
That's it.
Okay.
So running water is great because it's just constantly cleaning out your shrimp. But these are beautiful shrimp, nice and clean. So we're ready to go on that. I just want to go over the technique on shrimp. Now we're gonna talk steak.
Steak, yes, here we go.
There's a reason why we had it sitting out, right, guys? It's gonna cook much better when it's closer to room temperature. So we have a few fillets here. Everything started in time it takes to cook. So when this gets a little crazy, more stock. It's gonna help you. It's gonna buy you some time.
We've probably added 2.5, maybe 3 cups of stock so far from the beginning.
Yep.
Okay.
And so just keep adding. And this is something, the agitation, which the boiling helps you, gets that creaminess. We're gonna come back to in a second. So these are beautiful steaks, guys. You really don't have to do, they've already been cut for you. They've already been trimmed a little bit for you. So we're doing 3 because we're doing a little presentation. I really love to get a little bit of oil. Again, they're not as cold as they used to be, which is good. So a little bit of oil on each steak. You can say they already have fat on it, but this really helps your seasoning stick to it. There's a little trick we have to help the seasoning get all over it. I'm not one to season lightly. I think you want to go ahead and take the seasoning and put some on there. It's a steak, it needs it.
For me, that makes sense, especially with the cut we're dealing with that's so thick.
Yep.
You are going to be okay with that bit extra seasoning.
It's not going to hurt. We also have, I'm going to turn this cast iron back on.
All right.
As we've seen, this cast iron gets hot very quick.
It gets warm and it holds that heat.
The beauty of it is like you just get your towel and it goes from mushroom to steak cooker just like that. That's another great thing about cast iron. And mushroom in there is not going to hurt you.
Absolutely not.
You'll be just fine. So when I say season, I'm seasoning every side of this. I really want to get this nice and seasoned. I really want to get this.
I'm glad you bring that
everywhere.
up because the sides, again, especially because of the thickness of that beef, the sides are something people miss. Even if when I'm doing a baby back ribs, I'm doing the rub, I do make sure to get those sides, and people are like, well, that's not the edible part. I'm like, you know what? It makes a difference.
It makes a difference. You're going to cut that first. That's going to be your first bite. So this is, if you don't like that much salt, don't go. Don't go. If you need to do a no salt, you can do that.
There you go.
But it really enhances the natural taste of the beef. We're ready to go. The risotto's going. We're ready to go with butter.
Butter, more butter. Here we
We're gonna
go.
go with that. So you're gonna put that down. It's heating up.
And now it's real nice and soft, so it's going to warm up like that. That's exactly
It'll
right.
Save you a lot of time. So soft butter is probably the first thing you should do. Steaks out and soften your butter. Okay. Now, you know how you like your steak. I'm not going to tell you how to like your steak. I like mine medium rare. We are cooking, and also if you look at all these, there's thick, there's thin, there's short. So it depends on the size of your steak. So I can say cook it for so many minutes, but I would really like to tell you to cook it to your doneness, and we'll flip it around and have you feel it and see where it's going. So your steak's going, shrimp will be next. The risotto's going, and again, this risotto, there's no rushing it. It does take a little bit of time. We're gonna talk about our shrimp next.
Now, something that excites me about the surf and turf dish that Caesar came up with, we're teaching you, there's so many things he's going to show you right here at the end. Once we've plated the master dish, the one we're teaching, we're going to get into the amazing things you can do with either the leftovers or a couple of other variations. So that's what's most exciting to me, because that risotto goes a long way.
Oh yeah.
The whatever's left over, you don't want to doggy bag it and do the dogs. You certainly can, but he's going to show you a couple of things that are going to be mind-blowing.
Risotto's going over here. Again, keep
I'm back to stir job. I'll do that.
You're
I'm on
back
this.
over here. So as you see, you can see I'm puffing up a little bit. You can see the almost like it's pasta. It's
all
not
right.
pasta, but it is puffing up, and you see all that starch coming out of it.
And
so
here we
add
go
a
again.
little bit
More.
stock.
That's right. It puffs up some more of the stock. And it's getting thicker. I could see that.
Yep, it's getting there.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do a very simple shrimp presentation. It's butter again, some garlic, and then lemon. I use fresh lemon. All these different substitutes. I just use. I thought that was one.
Took your job again. There you go.
So
You are welcome.
Fresh lemon. You can use zest. You can use the juice. I literally use the entire lemon. So cut the ends off, and then you're just gonna cut rounds. Now, lemons have seeds. Okay.
All right.
So if you bite into a seed, I'm sorry. Send the complaint to Philip, Chancellor.
And if you've cut yourself tonight while you cook, send us the pictures.
Yeah.
We may air them next episodes.
Send the complaints to Rodriguez Booker Shop. Okay, you see your steak. Now, when you're looking at your steak, you're going to see the change color halfway up. Again, you want your steak cooked how you want your steak. I'm gonna cook these medium rare.
But for
And-
those at home, you haven't turned them yet.
I haven't
It's
turned
been
them
on.
yet.
It's been on the same side since you dropped them in. All right.
Exactly. And so you're gonna have hot spots, okay? The center is gonna be your hottest. So your thickest piece of steak wants to be in the center. If you have a super thin steak, I would put it over to the side because I want that thicker one to cook more evenly.
Okay.
So you gotta think that this is it's a big old like plancha here, and we're gonna cook it as best possible with the hottest part on the thickest steak. I'm gonna go ahead and flip these now. You'll see that change of color there. You'll see the butter doing its job.
Yes. Look at
Looking
that
good.
color.
Guys, we want to have time for this steak to rest. That's why we're starting them early. Our shrimp is ready, the next course. Shrimp, you have your lemon ready. We already have our garlic, salt, pepper, and butter. More butter.
More butter. I like it.
This,
Still
as
use it.
everything's going, this would probably be a good chance to answer some questions if you have
Ah, absolutely. All right. So from our studio audience, we've gotten this far in. Do we have any questions? Something you're concerned? Maybe a technique? Fireman? All right, Caesar, here's what we're going to do because I got Todd here from Eclipse Lighting who's helped us out with the wonderful lighting here.
Gotcha.
Maybe since we got her steering, Caesar, I want you to come over here and take a look at a few of our tables. This was the
Sure.
gentleman a moment ago I was teasing, but if you look, a lot of people love the mushrooms, but they'll still like what we've got here, and it's a little more done than you would see at maybe a restaurant, but I think they're at some of their best sometimes. We can get them like that.
The char is not a problem.
No.
You're gonna mix that into the risotto in a minute, and the great thing about the risotto is that it saves you. Because if that steak is dry, you have wet risotto. You're good. That's
So
why
it
we
makes
use
it
it so
forgiving.
much. You know, it's forgiving. It's a great dish. Then you want that wet. Put more cheese in it. Put more stock in it because you can always make that your hydrating part of the meal. Your steak looks awesome. Well, if you want it, it depends how you want it. If I were you right now, okay, you can turn it off.
Kill it.
Yep, kill it.
All right.
Mushrooms, whenever that, yours is looking great. Did you, one thing, we're probably gonna need a little salt in there, salt and pepper in there. That's one thing I didn't add. And then it's totally up to you, just a little bit.
Can I add mushrooms now?
I would do at the very end. I wanna just fold the mushrooms in.
Chef Caesar, Anthony just handed me a question from one of our viewers, and he's got another. All right, but it kind of goes along with what's happening here. It was Angie is asking if I'm getting extra liquid in that pan, is it something that I have done wrong, or do I need to speed up the cooking, slow it down?
Nope, you're great.
All right, Angie, you're
great.
watching at home. There you go. You're great. So it's
That's
okay
gonna
to have
happen.
that.
That's, you know, butter has a little water in it, your steaks have a little moisture in it, so you're gonna be just fine.
Okay, so
Not a problem.
Angie, you're not drying it out.
No, you're not
All
drying
right,
it
I
out.
think I got another one here. Jojo.
Jojo.
All right, different cooking temperatures, different cuts of beef. All right, so maybe is we're a little bit higher or lower for something like these amazing cuts from Heart Brand, or if we've got a real thin T-bone.
Honestly, you're going to, the thicker, the more time, just kind of like, you know, that's what you're gonna do. So think about it, if you have a real thin steak, that's the last thing you wanna do. Like you're gonna put that steak on there, boom, boom, 30 seconds each side, you're good. It's gonna be a huge tomahawk chop where you're gonna wanna put it on the, first of all, you need a big cast iron. Then when you're gonna cook it on the flip, put it in the oven.
Aha.
And then you're gonna have that.
But
the
you
heat
would
all
encourage a
around it.
sear for something like
I
that,
would,
that
for
thickness.
sure.
All right, let's get back in the studio, find out what's happening. Thank you so much, sir. We appreciate it. All right, fantastic. I felt like I owed him an apology because I teased him earlier.
okay.
And he's like huge with like 2%
doing
body
over here?
fat, and I didn't want to upset him, so I said he, not you. I mean, either way, I'm not a. No. See, here we go. Now I'm gonna get beat up later. No. Look, put
Okay.
the camera on him. Seriously, I mean, he's a fireman. How awesome is that? When's the calendar come out?
I'm a nurse.
You're a nurse? You know what? Did you sign the release? Just get your phone number on that. No.
Check the goodness.
All righty, Caesar. I'm sorry. I am in a boatload of trouble when I get home now.
right.
Let's see.
Very
Where are we at?
Okay. Steaks off, right? So I pulled them off, and there's a lot of different ways. A lot of people look at, you know, you've heard the thumb and all this. I honestly look at the blood, and it starts running clear,
Sure.
that means you've cooked it most of the way through. And then you just touch it. That's about a medium rare steak.
Okay.
This one's a little bit bigger, so a little thicker, but you're just gonna, this is a beautiful steak, so it's hard to
It
mess
is a
up.
beautiful steak.
But you want to get like that, but also I want to pull it off and let it rest. So put it
All
to
right.
the side with that compound butter, let it rest.
That rest is
That rest
so very important. It makes all the difference in the world. And I know for some that got the boxes and they're at home, they're going to be in a rush. Oh my gosh, let's tear into it. You got to give it that rest.
It's everything. What it does is right now you have your butter molecules moving like crazy because they're hot. And once you cut them when it is still real hot, all your juices run out. Dry steak. Leave it in and let it rest, you have juicy steak. It all kind of slows down and all your juices stay inside.
Now, maybe you can help me because at this point, it is still technically cooking.
It's still cooking.
It is
Hold over
cooking.
temperature.
Even though there's
Exactly.
no, okay, because I've heard that. I wanted to, maybe it helps
That's
some of the
why I
folks at
stopped it
home.
a little short so that I can continue to cook and then I can get it that medium rare that I'm looking for.
All right, all right.
Go back to your risotto. It's just a rice, right? So you pull out your rice, you test one. It has a little firmness to it still. It's ready to go. So we are making, and some people are going to hate me for doing this, but
Oh.
I put cheese in my risotto. It's
I didn't
beautiful.
hate you for
I
doing
put
it.
cheese
I love
in
it.
And many things that I can. So cheese goes in. Those mushrooms that you did earlier. It's okay to eat a mushroom, guys. If you want to taste them, they're great. The herbs are there, the butter's there. We didn't salt our risotto, so we probably need a little seasoning in there. Mushrooms go in. There's a little juice in there. That's just fine. So now, actually, Marty, let's pull a little bit of
Something
that out.
I've loved about the way Chef Caesar handles the risotto is it's almost like a stew. It's okay what you want to put in there.
Anything.
And you're encouraging that. It doesn't have to
Exactly.
be this way. And you've already said you don't have to have the mushrooms. You recommend them, but if you want to try this, that, and the other, so you can, make it your own.
If you don't like mushrooms, guys, it's fine. If you like spinach, put spinach in there, fold it up. Don't put the mushrooms, put spinach. And spinach can just be raw. Just dump it in there. Now you have spinach risotto. My kids don't like mushrooms or spinach, but they like broccoli.
This is the money right here.
Yeah, so
Mine
I
kids
just-
do as well.
Put the broccoli in the risotto. Now you have a broccoli risotto. It's all fancy at the restaurants, guys, but it's just broccoli and risotto. That's all it is. It's real simple.
Chef taught me this, and this is how I did it on the third time. And when you put the broccoli in and you have used the cheese that Chef Caesar recommends, I just try it. Now that you're learning how to do risotto properly, I have to recommend you try it.
Risotto is done. Last thing we're gonna cook is the shrimp. That's the fastest cook time, and then we're gonna do a few presentations for you. We're gonna stir off the asparagus at the very end as we're doing the shrimp. Okay, so burner back on. Again, the beauty of a cast iron is it's still hot. It's been off for, I don't know, about
Yes,
5 minutes, and it's still hot. So that's another reason I use a cast iron. So again, some butter goes in.
More butter.
More
More
butter.
butter. Here we go.
Butter goes in. Again, guys, this is really fast. Shrimp take no time. You're gonna be about a minute or two on these shrimp. Obviously matters on the size of the shrimp. Size of the shrimp, get it? Anyways, you're gonna get that butter in there. Again, we're using the same pan, guys. Nothing's changed. Same pan goes in there. Shrimp in. Salt and pepper. Again, I use the same seasoning for everything. I really like Old Bay on shrimp. You want to season that a little bit? I really like Old Bay on shrimp. I really like a Cajun seasoning. Garlic. This is the last garlic use, but garlic goes in there. Told you I like garlic. Garlic goes in there. And then I'm literally going to put these whole lemons in. And you want those lemons to cook. So what are you doing now? You're making a garlic and lemon sauce to accompany your shrimp. So as that's cooking, we're gonna grab the asparagus.
Now, I like the shrimp that you chose for this. These are the shrimp that we send out in the boxes. The smaller shrimp, if you're thinking, oh, we'll just pick up the little ones or the frozen, you're not going to get the same effect. But, exactly. You do want to, you're not even using that many because you're using it to complement the beef.
Exactly.
So you do want to, splurge a little bit. Grab some nice ones.
Grab some, you're looking at, it goes by sizes. So if you get, like a 15, 20, that's 15 or 20 shrimp per pound. Obviously, the lower the number, the bigger the shrimp. We use 26, 25, 30s a lot at the restaurant, but the lower the number, the more shrimp you're going to get per pound, and then it's going to be bigger.
This
So-
trick here that you show where you are cooking with the lemon in there and the asparagus gives
Exactly.
so many flavor profiles. I really hope those that are following at home with the chef boxes, or even if you went to the grocery store and were able to buy everything off the list, I hope you're doing it this way because you'll be robbing yourself of such amazing flavor. It's
know what the-
insane good. Audience, you seeing? Are we got all the, do we have that in there? Yes, I see one. Yes, Jen,
Asparagus
we're good.
is
All right,
going.
Katie, yes, sir. All right.
Again, guys, your asparagus is cooked. All you're doing is getting a little sear on it. Your shrimp doesn't take that long at all. Actually, I'm gonna push it off in a little bit. But really, I want to incorporate the lemon and the garlic, and I'm pulling that off right now.
Now, some
Super
of what
fast.
makes cooking intimidating is the plating. And Chef Caesar was able to teach me in seconds that a little bit of clever plating helps that presentation and ultimately will help with the taste. I know it's
Exactly.
insane, but
So we're gonna do a couple different presentations for you. One is that if you're doing a multi-course meal, let's say you started off with a salad, you started off with a soup, and you don't want a big old steak. Well, what I'm gonna do is Amadi's gonna plate one up, a smaller presentation, and then I'm gonna plate one up if the steak's the star, and this is gonna be your main meal. So, but again, it's all the same ingredients. We're not doing anything different.
wait till you see this Heart Brand beef slice.
It's amazing.
It is, I almost don't want you to do it, but since I know I'm eating one of these, we're gonna have to.
Well, Marty's gonna slice one up for you, but guys, presentation's easy, and I know a lot of times it's fancy and it's kind of intimidating when you see this crazy presentation, but it's not that hard.
I'm getting ready.
You're getting ready to eat. Okay, this
Gotta warm up with the michelada.
you're looking at your risotto. It's getting thick. How's y'all's looking? Y'all looking good?
Feeling
Getting
good?
thick. Now it's okay for it to get a little dry because you have stock. All you do is put a little bit more stock in there. Has anybody cheated and eaten some? Tried it yet? I see Jen
As
over-
Jen's
as
spoon
Jen's
comes
spoon.
out, there we go. Thank you, Jen. Well, you know what? That's what we're here to do. That's what we're here to do. James, are we good over there?
Okay, this
Mr.
is
America,
beautiful.
how are you? Fantastic.
So
All right.
we can get this a little thicker. I'm gonna go ahead and plate right now. So everything goes on a bed of mushroom risotto. Has the cheese in there, has the mushrooms. I'm messy, sorry.
It's okay.
Again, if you don't like mushrooms, you have spinach, you have poblano, you have broccoli, you have any kind of risotto you want. I want you to take this risotto and do something special with it that your family might like. So you're gonna put this in the center. I want to keep it as high as possible, so I'm not gonna bring it down. Madi's gonna put a bed as well on her plates because she's doing a little bit different presentation. So mine's a little easier. I'm gonna put a few asparagus in the middle. An elegant presentation, and I'm gonna save some for Madi as well. So I'm gonna put about 3, because we have another presentation for the next day on how to use leftovers after we're done with this. So a few asparagus spears. Now I'm gonna leave Madi which one do you want? Yeah, that's
What
one.
a gentleman, letting her choose.
Here we go. Steak, easy. Just steaks can go right on top. Simple.
And again, this goes back to that presentation. It's just
Exactly.
the way it looks. I mean, a lot of people do, okay, the risotto over here on the right, a couple of spears on the left, steak in the middle or somewhere on the side. What a difference a little finesse
That's it.
makes.
It's not hard. It's intimidating. You see it on commercials. You see it at restaurants, but it's not that hard to present this.
Now here comes your hamburger story.
Yes.
Here
so,
comes the ham. This is it. This is it.
You
This is the
know,
exciting
every
part.
single burger. I went to like 5 cities and tried burgers everywhere, and every burger that was amazing. They were the best burgers in the nation. All had a compound butter between the meat and the cheese. So that's what we're doing. We're putting a little dollop of our compound butter.
Look
You got to
at
remember,
this.
if this is in the freezer, it's going to be a little coin. That's basically what we have here, right? So you're putting a little coin, and that's going to be a beautiful place. Again, this is date night, right? So you're going to take this shrimp,
This is my favorite. I've been waiting for this. Watch what he does with this shrimp.
and all you're going to do is make them happy like that. This butter is going to be where you kind of push it down, and that's going to help it sit right there. Got it? And again, if you want more shrimp, you can always do more shrimp, but take a picture and post it first. It's all for the gram.
Now, you know, Caesar, let's say somebody loves everything you're doing here, but maybe, and I can't even imagine why, but maybe they said, you know what, I don't want to use a tenderloin. What other cuts of beef or maybe a chicken breast?
Oh, you can do anything. Chicken breast, pork chop, ribeye would probably be my go-to. But tenderloin, it just gives, again, it's my wife's favorite, and that's why we're doing it.
Mine as well. And again, actively look for Heart Brand. You will thank me. You'll send in your thank you emails.
Exactly.
This is, look, we tried to invent Smell-O-Vision by selling the boxes from here at Pedrati. So if you were lucky enough to order them, you're about to find out how amazing it is. But if you haven't had it, we've said its name a few times, actively look for it. Heart Brand.
Guys, okay, the second part of the presentation, a little bit of thyme, that lemon that you cooked with earlier, if they want to squeeze it on there, they can do it.
It's got some color now.
It got some color. It has that little presentation wow factor. A little bit of thyme coming up. Find one of the lemons that didn't get too scorched. And guys, it's I know it seems complicated, but that's your dish that you do at home.
Look at our tables. They're doing it as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Chef Caesar, there you go, the date night surf and turf.
One more
Not done just
presentation.
yet, not done, because my question to Caesar when we were in the test kitchen with this and he was showing us what he wanted to do
Put one on there.
is I wanted to talk to him a little bit about, it's all right, we'll just bring it up here. He gave us a really good idea. He said, you know, Caesar, again, I mentioned earlier, this is not really something you want to doggy bag, but if you go and have a nice evening out, you've had some hors d'oeuvres, you've eaten the risotto, and you do have some of that steak left.
Sure.
Tell me the idea you gave me earlier.
I mean, brunch, basically you put an egg on it and it's brunch, right? So heat it up, cast iron pan, fry your egg, put a fried egg on top of it, put your shrimp on, and you have brunch the next day.
Nice brunch, something wonderful, and you've kind of repurposed that amazing cut of beef. So there we go.
So
All right.
Madi did a little different presentation. She took that one steak and she made it into a plate she fanned it out, cut the asparagus a little bit different, put a shrimp on top. So same thing, different presentation. It's going to go a little further. Just want to show you different ways to present the same thing.
Fantastic. Once again, for our studio audience here at Pedrati's Ranch and everyone at home, one more round of applause, Chef Caesar. Twang, man, he's excited. He's got his hands up. We are filming this live from an absolutely amazing facility. 4,000 square feet at this facility at your disposal. 50 years in business, the Pedratis. We absolutely love these folks. Seating capacity for 3,500. If you've never been to Pedrati's Ranch, we encourage you to do so. I'd like to thank Robin Clark at Stitch in Texas for getting our amazing aprons, which you wore, and I forgot mine off camera, but you know, it's okay because the Men's Warehouse will dry clean this for me. Thank you very much to our amazing sponsors. Twang, you're out there. Thank you. It's wonderful. I didn't want to finish the whole thing on camera because I already, you know, I don't need enough rumors. All right, and of course, Heart Brand Beef. Caesar, anything else?
No, guys, I hope you learned something. I hope you find something that you can do this, and it's not something that's scary or off-putting. And any questions, like, send them in still. We're still here. Hope you watch this. I hope you try it. Go do it again a different way. It's a fun thing to learn and take into your home and do it different ways for you.
This is not the last time you're going to see Chef Caesar. We've got so many great ideas for You Are Cooks Live. Eventually, we are going to have a contest where we're going to ask you home chefs at home to submit recipes to us. We're going to be able to submit and take a look at all those great recipes, find the best one, and bring you on to cook here live with us. We're going to do a family night, lots of other crazy things, but we are not finished tonight. It is now time to announce the next amazing local chef that we are going to have September 10th right here on You Are Cooks Live. Wes, let's take a look at that next chef. On the next episode of You Are Cooks Live, airing September 10th, we're very excited to have another local favorite, a celebrity chef from Food Network's Cupcake Wars, a military veteran and owner of The Spot, which we're going to talk about here in just a few moments. Ladies and gentlemen, we're excited to bring to you Shonda Robledo. Here she is for the next episode of You Are Cooks, airing September 10th. Shonda, so wonderful to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Now, before we talk about your recipe, I want you to tell us about The Spot and those two chicks.
Well, The Spot by those two chicks is a cool COVID-free spot, like meaning COVID, don't bring it here spot that you can come and just enjoy yourself and be, you know, happy instead of COVID crazy, and enjoy great food by those Two Chicks Catering Company, because that's where our permanent pop-up will be. So,
Fantastic. Here's the link. I'll send you right to it. Go check it out. Show some love for us. Now, the reason why we have you here today, I want you to just tell us a little bit about what you're going to cook on that episode airing September 10th.
well, I'll be showing you how to turn a cupcake into a tamale.
Love it. You've got that cupcake thing because of, you know, Food Network. She was on Cupcake Wars. And then you got that nice Texas punch with the tamale thing. So we look forward to having you. Remember, Shonda will be on the September 10th show, You Are Cooks Live from the Pedrates Ranch. And here we are. Shonda, thank you so much. Again, September 10th, You Are Cooks Live. She is going to do that amazing tamale cupcake. The moment she said what she was thinking about doing, Caesar, she had us. I was like, tamale
have me.
cupcake? You've got two of my favorites right there. So, September 10th, tell all of your friends, please visit the spot. Also, Chef Caesar, we've got Alamo Biscuit Company. Want to see you there, and Sangria on the Berg. Again, thank you to all of our wonderful sponsors. My name is Philip Chancellor from 5150 Productions, from You Are Cooks Live at the Pedrates Ranch. Thank you! Is that it? We're good?